Hey Tech Journey, it's Atia. I'm so excited about today's topic. I'm going to be talking about parenting. That's right. For those of you that know, we have 4 small children. We both work full time, so our plates are very full. And I get asked a lot about being a working mom and how do you balance it all. So today I'm going to answer 7 of the most popular questions asked by working parents. All right, so I'll never forget, guys, it was about 2 years ago and we decided to transition into tech sales. We wanted to experience financial freedom. That was our why. That was the real reason we decided to transition into tech sales. So my husband and I both got new jobs. We have 3 small children. We're working our careers, doing very well. And then I pop up pregnant. Yes, it was a very big surprise for us. We had a 9-month-old daughter, and here I am taking a pregnancy test, finding out I'm pregnant while I have a full-time job. So it was a little stressful, just to be honest with you. But I knew that, children are a blessing, and I really was very blessed and honored to be able to have this 4th baby. I knew that it was going to be a lot of work. So I'm working while I'm pregnant, go on maternity leave. Actually, while I in labor and delivery, I experienced some complications, was able to overcome all of that, go back to work, continue to work hard. I actually performed better after maternity leave, was able to do extremely well at my job, transitioned to another job, and all of this while having 4 small children. Hopefully what I share with you today will encourage you, inspire you, all those working moms. Look, I know it's hard. I get it. But at the same time, I also believe you have what it takes, mama. Give yourself grace and keep doing everything you're doing for your kids. All right, question number 1. How do you manage the emotional needs of your children while keeping up with your work demand? Great question. So fortunately, my job as an SDR is basically a 9 to 5. So once I'm done with work, I can really tune out and tune into my children. So I pick them up from school, and in the evenings we have dinner time, and that is like mandatory. As a family, we sit down at the table, and that's our time where we decompress. We ask our kids how their day went. We find out if there were any challenges that they're going through. We talk through it. We play family games. So it's our time as a family to just invest in each other. Me and my husband also, although we both work from home, we don't really get to spend a lot of time with each other. So at the dinner table, we're able to talk, we're able to catch up. And it's just very important for our family to have that time together as a unit so that we're able to talk through things, find out where they're at, what they're going through, and help them through any challenges they may have. Question number 2, what strategies do you use to prevent burnout and balance work while parenting multiple children? That's a great question. So something that I do personally is I have a schedule. So I believe just like you have to have a strategy for your money, a budget, you also have to have a strategy for your time, a schedule. So in the evenings, we know we have about 30 minutes to let our kids decompress, let them play or whatever they want to do before we transition to baths, dinner, and bed. So because we're both working and we work late into the evening, we don't really have a long window at night because they're all in bed by 8 o'clock. So we have a very short window to get a lot done. And our 3rd grader has a lot of homework. So we have to be able to schedule and have everything pretty much down to a science so that we know when we get home, we have 30 minutes of playtime, then we have to transition to baths, dinner, homework, and bed so that everyone gets enough rest, including me and my husband. I have to get enough sleep because I am just not able to function at work when I don't. So having a schedule, really, that's something practical that helps to prevent burnout. Another thing we do are date nights. So we have once a month where my mom or a family member will keep the kids and we'll be able to do something fun and enjoyable. I don't really get a lot of me time, but I do try to take advantage of, evenings on the weekends where I can just relax and, just find some time to myself. Also, one of the things that I love about my job is just having PTO. So if there is ever a season where I feel like, it's just a lot on my plate, I need a day, I'm very fortunate to be able to take the day off and relax and unwind so that way I can have my head in the game when I get back to work. Question number 3. How do you handle discipline and structure in a busy household with multiple children? That's a great question. So when it comes to discipline, something that I actually think I read online, having a behavior chart. Now it works. Now our children are 8 and 5, 2, and almost 1. So for the 8-year-old and the 5-year-old, we have a behavior chart, and it's basically 5 different categories. Every day they start at New Start, and they have 2 steps they can go up. I think it's like good choice, great choice, and outstanding. And then 3 steps going down: warning, timeout, and lose a privilege. So that chart has helped us a lot. One of the things that my husband and I noticed is it would go from 0 to 10 so quickly. They do one thing wrong, now they're in timeout. Or they do one thing wrong, now you can't watch, TV this evening. And so there was not a way for them to track or progress how they were doing. So when we got that chart, it changed the game. Anytime they do something, we don't even have to talk about it. Move yourself down on the chart. Or anytime they do something well, hey, that was a really great job. Move yourself up on the chart. And it helps them as small children to be able to see where they stand, what they need to do better, where they need to improve. And anytime they end the day on outstanding, they get a treat. So, they're always just striving to do their best every day. We do spend a lot of time talking to them and making sure they understand if they're missing it, the behaviors that we don't like, we don't tolerate. So we are a Christian family, and on Sunday we have Bible study together, and we make sure that we teach our children the fruits of the Spirit, teach them godly behaviors, and so they understand at the end of the day, that their behavior has to line up with what God's word says about them. So if they're doing something and they're not listening, what does God's word say about being obedient to your parents? Or, maybe they were dishonest about something. What does the Bible say about telling the truth? And so we always bring it back to the word of God. That is our foundation as a family, and just being able to instill that in our kids while they're small, and when they're older, they won't depart from it. Question number 4, how do you ensure that each child gets one-on-one attention? That's a great question. We have 4 children. Something that I do, I like to be very intentional, and I pay a lot of attention to my kids. So if I notice my 5-year-old he seems upset, or he seems like he's going through something, his behavior just hasn't been the same, and it's consistently a couple of days in a row, I may notice he's not doing well. And that actually happened last month. He was just having a rough time transitioning. He's in kindergarten now, and it was new and a lot at the same time. So one day I actually was finished with everything I had to do for the day. Had an amazing week. So I actually was able to leave work a little bit early. I went and picked him up, and we went to Target. We went and just had a mommy and Sunday, and he was all over the moon. He loved it. We were able to pick out a few toys. I was able to talk to him about kindergarten, how things are doing and how he's doing. And it was just really important for me to be able to notice that something is going on and being proactive. And, instead of waiting to react and, he's getting in trouble at school and I have to find out what's going on, but just paying attention. One of the things that I really value that my mom did is she was very intentional. So it's 5 of us in my family, and my mom was very intentional with raising us. And so I learned that to be that same type of parent. I'm very intentional when it comes to my children. Of course, our 1-year-old, he's a Velcro baby. So he's literally on my hip 24/7. So he gets all the one-on-one time he needs. And then our 2-year-old, she is a toddler and she's a girl. So I still have to make sure that I spend time every day making sure she's okay and talking to her and listening and trying to understand what she's saying. And then our 8-year-old as well, just being sure that I'm always intentional about who they are, their gifts, their strengths, their talents, and then pointing them out, encouraging them, affirming them, telling them I'm proud of them, telling them they're doing a great job. And it's those little moments throughout the day. I may not have hours or days to spend with just one child, but I try to be intentional in the few minutes I have in a day with them, just to really hone in on them and affirm them and make sure that they're okay. Question number 5. What are some tips on making the most of the limited time you have with your children? This is a great question because I kind of sometimes would kind of get down on myself. It was like, man, I wish I had more time with the kids because the weekdays are so full. By the time we get off work, we get everybody home, we're like in the zone, like running, trying to get everybody in bed by 8. So we capitalize and maximize on our weekends. So when Saturdays and Sundays come, Friday nights, we do family movie night. So we get a pizza, let the kids pick a movie. They love that. Saturdays, we try to make sure we bring them to the park or something. And then Sundays, we do have our time of fellowship, our time in church, our time in the Word, just being able to really honor on Sunday as a family together. So for us, I don't want to look at the limited time that I have, but how can I make the most of the time that I do have? So weekends, we don't really do a lot of things outside of the family because I really want to be able to invest a lot of time in our children. So the weekends are like all the focus is on the kids. And that really does help me too as a mom, that I'm working, so I don't feel bad about the fact that I don't spend much time with them during the week, but I'm just looking forward to what are we going to do as a family together on Saturday? How are we going to spend our Friday night? What movie are we going to watch? Just looking forward to spending time with them. Question number 6, how do you and your spouse share responsibilities while managing work? That's a really good question too. So basically, my husband and I, we're a team, and I love that he's so hands-on and involved with the children because, I know that sometimes it can be like viewed as, oh, that's the mom's job and, the dad is just going to do something else, but he's a great father. He's very involved, in the evenings while I'm doing homework, he's laying the kids down for bed or, he's bathing them while I'm cooking dinner. So we really do both of us take on the responsibility. He does drop off in the morning, I do pick up in the evening, and we share in the load together. And that does help. And I do know that I want to be considerate of the fact that we have some single moms, and you may be challenged because you're like, well, I don't have a partner to help me. It's all on me. Well, I really believe that God gives single moms just extra grace to be able to handle and manage your children. And if you're working, an extra grace to be able to manage your work and your children. I just want you to know, single mamas, that you are a blessing, and that although you may not have a partner, that God is right there with you, helping you, giving you the strength every day to get up and do what you have to do to take care of your children. So my hat goes off to all of you. Question number 7. What are the biggest challenges you faced finding work-life balance, and how did you overcome them? Well, for me, the biggest challenge that I faced was mom guilt. So I was a stay-at-home mom for 4 years before entering into tech sales. And I loved that time being able to be home with my kids, being able to experience every moment, being able to, just really fully immerse myself in raising my children. And we decided, we wanted to really accomplish these large financial goals. So that's why I went to work. And sometimes that weighs on me. It's like, I'm always wondering, did I make the right choice? I'd love to be able to be home with my kids and not be so torn with my time, but then I have to remember every time I get up and go to work, I'm doing this for them. I'm saving up so that they can go to college without getting into student loans. I'm saving up to work so that we can pay off our house and get debt free. So these are the things I'm building for my children and my grandchildren and my great grandchildren for our legacy. And that helps me just remembering my why and not getting down on myself. And moms, we do that all the time. Mom guilt is a real thing. So at the end of the day, the way that I'm able to overcome the challenge is giving myself grace. That is a huge lesson that I had to learn. It's like, okay, God has given me grace and I have to give myself grace. I'm not going to be perfect. There are going to be times where I'm stressed out, overwhelmed, and I may lose it and I may scream at the kids and I have to go back and apologize and make things right, but just giving myself grace. And what I love about children is they're so forgiving and they're just, so understanding. And I really believe that's why Jesus says that we should come to him like children, right? There's something about that innocence and purity. And I really do learn a lot, just by being their mom on what they need and what they need in every season. And every season, the needs are going to change. So just being able to give myself grace, exhale, try that. Maybe sometimes you just got to sit down and exhale and say, tomorrow is a new day. I may have messed up today. It's okay. And ask your children to forgive you. I know that's crazy, but it works. There are times where I have to tell the kids, because when they come home on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, they want to go outside and play, and I have to explain, mommy works and mommy has to work until late. So we have to get in the bed early. But guess what? On Friday, we're going to watch Inside Out or whatever, come up with something for them to look forward to. So instead of them thinking about what they're not getting, giving them something to look forward to. All right, guys, I really enjoyed my time with you. Hopefully you got something out of this. For all the moms and even dads that are tuning in, just keep being the best parent that you can be. Remember to give yourself grace. God has given you grace. God has blessed you with those children. And I am sure that He didn't make a mistake. And at the end of the day, if you're ever unsure what to do, seek Him, right? He gave you those kids for a reason, and He can tell you exactly how to be the best parent you can be. So I'm so glad you guys are here. I want to encourage anyone that may be in a season where you're looking for a change in your career, or you need resources, or you're just curious, like, what is this tech sales all about? Visit our website, thewarthens.com. It's a great resource for you to find tech sales and other non-tech jobs, for you to find many valuable resources that'll help you in your journey. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time.